Spain, in the late 15th century, stood at the cusp of a new era. Recently unified after the Reconquista, the centuries-long struggle to expel the Moors, Spain buzzed with a newfound sense of purpose and ambition. The spirit of exploration, fueled by tales of far-off lands and untold riches, pulsed through the Iberian Peninsula. European monarchs, eager to find new trade routes to the east, offered patronage to intrepid explorers. It was in this climate of ambition and possibility that a Genoese sailor named Christopher Columbus approached the Spanish court of Ferdinand and Isabella with a bold proposition to reach the east by sailing west. Columbus's proposal, though audacious, resonated with the Spanish monarchs. They saw in his voyage the potential not only for discovering a new trade route to the Indies, but also for expanding Spanish influence and spreading the Catholic faith. With royal patronage secured, Columbus set sail from Palos de la Frontera in August 1492, embarking on a journey that would irrevocably alter the course of history. Little did he know that his voyage would mark the beginning of Spain's meteoric rise to global power, ushering in an era of unprecedented exploration, conquest, and cultural exchange. Columbus's voyage across the Atlantic was fraught with challenges. Weeks turned into months as his small fleet, comprising the Niña, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria, braved treacherous seas and dwindling supplies. The crew, weary and on the verge of mutiny, finally sighted land on October 12, 1492. They had landed in the Bahamas, believing they had reached the East Indies. Columbus's discovery of the Americas, though a momentous event in world history, was not without its dark side. Driven by a thirst for gold and the desire to spread Christianity, the Spanish embarked on a brutal campaign of conquest and subjugation of the indigenous populations. The consequences for the native peoples of the Americas were catastrophic, as diseases introduced by the Europeans ravaged their populations, and their cultures were decimated. Despite the brutality that ensued, Columbus's voyage opened up a new chapter in human history, connecting the old world and the new in ways unimaginable before. Following Columbus's voyages, a wave of Spanish conquistadors, driven by a potent mix of ambition, greed, and religious zeal, descended upon the Americas. Armed with superior weaponry and aided by the devastating effects of European diseases on native populations, these conquistadors toppled empires and claimed vast territories for the Spanish crown. Among the most famous of these conquistadors were Hernán Cortés and Francisco Pizarro. Cortés, arriving in Mexico in 1519, orchestrated the audacious conquest of the Aztec Empire. Through a combination of military prowess, cunning diplomacy, and the exploitation of internal divisions within the Aztec Empire, Cortés and his small force of conquistadors, allied with indigenous groups, managed to capture the Aztec capital of Tenochtitlan, effectively toppling the once mighty empire. Pizarro, arriving in Peru in 1532, similarly orchestrated the downfall of the Inca Empire. Exploiting internal strife within the Inca Empire following a recent civil war, Pizarro captured the Inca Emperor Atahualpa, holding him for an enormous ransom in gold and silver. Despite receiving the ransom, Pizarro executed Atahualpa, effectively decapitating the Inca leadership and paving the way for the empire's collapse. By the late 16th century, Spain had emerged as the dominant power in Europe. Its vast empire, stretching from the Americas to the Philippines, fueled the Spanish treasury with an influx of silver and gold. However, Spain's dominance was not unchallenged. England, under the rule of Queen Elizabeth I, increasingly posed a threat to Spanish interests, particularly in the New World. English privateers operating with the tacit approval of the English crown harassed Spanish shipping and raided Spanish settlements in the Americas. In 1588, King Philip II of Spain, determined to crush English defiance and solidify Spanish dominance, launched the Spanish Armada, a formidable fleet of warships, against England. The Armada, however, met with disaster. The English fleet, smaller and more maneuverable than the Spanish ships, inflicted heavy losses on the Armada. Storms further battered the Spanish fleet as it attempted to return home, leading to further losses. The defeat of the Spanish Armada marked a turning point in the balance of power in Europe, signaling the beginning of Spain's gradual decline and the rise of England as a major maritime power.